Hello YouTubers, my name is X Factor. Now that the China Rising DLC is out for Battlefield 4, we're going to start up the armor guides and tank tutorials. And today we're talking about angle of exposure and when to reduce or eliminate that completely. It's all about minimap awareness, and in Battlefield 4 there is a ton of stuff that can kill armor, so it's all about your positioning and your awareness. So when you start getting into a battle like this, and you start seeing more bad guys approach, and you start taking incoming fire from a left angle, the last thing you want to do is pull forward going for a potential finishing blow on the enemy tank. There's no promise you're going to get it, but there is a promise that you're going to overexpose yourself and get blown up in the process. And much like corners, hills are the same thing. Never go straight up to the top of a hill. You're exposing yourself to everybody, you're going to get disabled, and you're not going to be able to move, ensuring death. Let's talk about some of the things that could have happened differently to help prolong the life of the tank. Again, positioning is everything in map awareness. There's a ton of enemies up here. That's a problem. They're able to head glitch you quite a bit and rain down death. There's the Law, which is fire and forget and locks on you. The RPGs, which hurt a ton if it's a perfect side shot or rear shot, so you have to be careful about the angle you give them, along with the angle that you're giving your armor. So pulling up was absolutely the worst thing to do. So what are you going to do? Are you just going to back straight up? No, they're probably going to come chase you, but that's okay. So how would you want to back up? All right, I'd actually, right here, because I know I wouldn't be able to get very far, probably put this right through here. What does that make the bad guys do on this hill? Come over the crest of the hill. It exposes their full body to all the infantry players back here. The second thing it might cause the tanks to do is chase, baiting them into infantry positions, infantry strongholds, because there's going to be a lot of engineers in your team. So when that first couple of tanks showed themselves, maybe pop off a shot. If you have APS, pop that so you can eat one shell or a barrage of things and just back up, minimizing this angle. The deeper you can get in this hill, the better, because again, if an enemy is trying to rush you, they're going to be on top of that hill. They're not head glitching anymore. All your teammates are going to see them. The second clip showcased the tanker going up on top of the crest of the hill. And of course, there are bad guys all through here, if you guys remember what that mini-map looked like, or my screen looked like from the gunner's screen. So this is great. He can shoot a lot of people or add a lot of people, but what's bad about this? Number one, you're on top of the hill. It's hard to move around, and you're giving their aircraft an easy shot. You're on the crest of a hill. Not to mention that everybody else that's in front of you has a free shot. So if they have laws that are fire and forget, they lock onto you, RPGs, javelins, anything and everything can kill you. But what else happens when you climb a hill? You don't have down angle. I can't pull my turret down, right? You have to get up on top of this hill. Worst thing you can ever do. But hills are amazing. Sand dunes are amazing because you can use them to pillar. You need to be in the trough like this, which is the deeper part. So instead of going up the hill, we could have approached it like this. And again, this was the area where all the bad guys were. You're limiting your exposure. Same thing as before. And just pull up and pillar. So as you start taking damage, you can simply back off, hug the height of this sand dune, because that's what's going to protect you. Not being too far into here, because if you're too deep into this, you don't have as much protection. Somebody could lob some shots over, so you got to be careful there. So it's important to have a nice backup into the higher part of this hill. Or any of the other maps that have cliffs or some rocks. Get close to those. You don't want to be too far behind. So if we advance, we've got all these other different dunes that we can play off of. Same thing here. You know, we got a nice right side here, and we can simply back up. And depending on the angle of exposure here, if somebody has a lock-on weapon, you can literally break that lock here, and maybe somebody's locking from over here, you can pull up again until your APS is up again, and maybe move to another spot. And again, never, if you see a bunch of bad guys right here, don't ever do this, because why? You're exposing your underside, and you don't have down angle. It takes you a second to get up this hill, and this is a tiny little guy. So imagine how bad this could be if there's a piece of armor there. You've probably already taken a nasty shot, and it's going to take you a while to back up. So play these dunes and hills appropriately. Give yourself a nice little area to be able to pillar. Create the exposure you want, and reduce the exposure that you don't want. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this first armor tutorial for Battlefield 4. There'll be many more, including tons of tactics versus other vehicles and infantry, live in-game footage, and of course damage guides and that sort of thing on how to take down your favorite piece of armor. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. If you enjoyed this or learned something today, don't forget about the old thumbs up. We'll see you soon, YouTubers.